Hey everybody, it's Golmadex, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. And today we're going to be playing a premiere draft of Magic 2020. This is one of the core sets, so it's going to be pretty similar in um, vibe, at least to Foundations, which is coming out pretty soon. So I think that's why they have it as a flashback draft queue. Not often do we get core set flashback drafts because they're some of the more forgettable. They kind of blend together a little bit because they're all about just bringing in a bunch of cards. They're going to be a little bit more simple, a little bit more traditional, no super crazy mechanics or anything like that. So should be a relatively simple draft environment here where we can kind of just go for raw power level and end up in a nice two-color pair. And as far as raw power goes here, I think I like the Cloudkin Seer the best. Any creature that draws a card when it enters the battlefield is immediately replacing itself in terms of card advantage, so it's a pretty easy way to start the draft off just for some good blue flyers. There are cards in this format. Again, it's a core set, so I have a really poor memory of it, but there are, just visually looking at the cards, some cards in the set that want you to draft a bunch of copies of the same thing. So there was like a white creature that searches up another copy every time you play it, and here's this blue creature that draws you a card if you play it alongside another copy of itself. So that's a little interesting. That could be good here. Just another blue flyer that could be drawing us cards. The safest pick here is pretty easily the Evolving Wilds, just to get some mana fixing here. But I kind of like the Fairy Miscreant. Definitely want to play blue with this Cloudkin Seer. I think it was the best card in the first pack, and it looks better than everything else in this pack as well, as all these other cards are definitely more narrow. Like Woodland Champion could be stronger than Cloudkin Seer if you get a ton of token production, or Noxious Grasp could be stronger if you're playing against green or white, but this is a best of one draft, so you can't really main deck that card. So I'm just going to try to stick to blue there for good card advantage plays. And now pick number 3. This Cerulean Drake is actually somewhat main deckable, it looks like. If you do end up playing against red, you're super happy. But otherwise, 2 mana 1/1 flyer, and you can counter something. Fine. Bone to Ash might be a little bit better. This is a very, very nice 2-for-1. Counter their big creature spell and draw a card off of it. And again, keeps us to blue. And now I'm getting a little bit more of a memory of the set. This was the set with the Elemental deck in it. That was one of the sweetest archetypes in this format, because you had nice creatures like the Lavakin Brawler, tons of Elementals. Really, some of the uncommons and rares really pushed that archetype. There's like a Mythic Omnath that helped all your Elementals out, and the Risen Reef uncommon, 3 mana 1/1, and every elemental you play now draws a card when you play it. So it's a pretty sweet archetype to end up in if you get the higher rarity cards for it. For now, though, we're just sticking to the great commons out of the packs. Pick number 4, we've got this Wolf Rider's Saddle. That is a bit of a 2-for-1. It's a 4 mana 3/3 wolf that can't be blocked by more than one creature, and then you get to move that equipment around for the rest of the game. We could also head towards blue-red with a Chandra's Outrage. This is a nice removal spell for any deck that's a bit aggressive, and even though we're in blue here, we look kind of like a tempo aggro-y version of a blue deck rather than a full control one, because we've just got some good evasive threats, so pushing damage in with something like Chandra's Outrage does still seem pretty decent. There's also the Silverback Shaman that's got a great death trigger, and a 5/4 trample is a large threat by core set standards. So a trampler that replaces itself when it dies also seems legit. Might even be better than the saddle, but I'm going to go for the outrage here. Pick 5, we've got Unsummon, Anticipate for the best blue spells. There's that Silverback Shaman again, that's pretty exciting out of green. Blood for Bones has some fun utility, being able to try to play a Reanimator deck. It's an additional cost, sack a creature, return a creature from your grave to the battlefield, and another one from your grave to your hand. It's pretty sweet with expendable creatures like the Miscreant and the Cloudkin Seer that give you value immediately. Kind of want to try for Reanimator stuff. It's a pretty fun archetype if we can get the tools to go there. Pick 6. Nothing much here, but we'll go ahead and take the Cerulean Drake. This is going to be unbeatable for decks that are really heavy into red, but it's still going to be good in any archetype. Pick 7. So blue-red dual land looks like a decently high pick to go get us some fixing if we go blue-red. Pick 8. Pretty weak pack here, but a pick 8 battalion foot soldier is a decent sign that players are not drafting the multitude of copies of that card, and that we might be able to get more. Although I think there was one in our opening pack, so somebody took one out of this, which is not ideal. All right, time for all the filler. Man, these slightly older core sets had a ton of filler. This set's only 5 years old? Core sets are always named after the year after they release, so Core Set 2020 actually came out in 2019. Oh, wow. Pick 11 foot soldier? Sure. Maybe you go on blue-white then. Griffin Protector is another perfectly viable flyer to go alongside our cheap blue ones. And if you can stack up multitudes of the battalion foot soldiers, then it turns into a really good card advantage play as well. As long as you have like at least 3 copies, it's worth it. A 3-mana 2/2 that draws 2 extra 3-mana 2/2s is good value there. So it might be actually just blue-white at the core here off of some of these wheels. Pick 7 foot soldier and then a pick 9 foot soldier. Looks pretty good. Pick 12. That's a really late silverback shaman though. Seems like a great green spell. Super late on summon, we're very happy with that, as we are more tied to blue than any other color right now. What if we open up a sweet rare in basically any color we can go in that direction? We're just most likely to end up in blue-white right now. I don't think we main deck negate. And I have the option anyway. Alright, pack 2, pick 1 sweet green rare. Just roll with that. Alternatively, if I really want to stick to blue-white here to get the foot soldier stuff going on, we could take a Warden of Evos Isle, which is going to make all of our flyers cheaper to cast, which could be pretty great with a deck that's heavy in flyers like this could be. But I think Night Pack Ambusher is super absurd. Flash this in, 4 mana 4/4, you flash it in, you maybe eat something for free, and then you could just start passing turn and making a 2/2 wolf every turn. Yeah, this card is more than busted enough to push into green instead. And green did not seem like the most open color, but still open enough that we got like a silverback shaman incredibly late. So we're still going to get powerful cards in the color. Take the Warden here, because we'll still have a lot of blue flyers. So that'll be perfectly playable. Pick 3, Leafkin Druid's a nice little ramp spell. Alternatively, Metropolis Right, just keep playing a ton of flyers, seems decent. The Scampering Scorcher was really nasty with any of the cards that trigger whenever an elemental enters, because you get 3 of them. But, you know, we're not that rampy here. Our highest mana value is 5. I don't know that we really need the Druid. I'm actually going to go Sprite here. Stick really heavy on the blue flyers. Yeah, so the double Warden plays really well. Maybe we can wheel a Miscreant or a Winged Words. We didn't pass any Miscreants pack 1, so ideally nobody else has managed to open up any where this looks pretty useless to them. But if it doesn't wheel, maybe the Winged Words will. Oh my god. What are the odds? Well, I gotta take another Cloud Concealer over a 3rd Warden. We might be able to wheel the first one. There's so many copies. Everybody who wants them is going to get as many as they want, it looks like. But we got to take the Cloud Concealer. That value play is just so good. Better than the kind of mana rebate you get from the Wardens. Pick 6 Winged Words. Pretty good value play. Shared Summons is fine as well. 5 mana is kind of a lot, but you do get your 2 best creatures from your deck into your hand. So I guess if you have 2 bombs, it plays pretty well, and just having 1 Night Pack Ambusher to pick up is already decent. Yeah, 5 mana is a lot, but again, we don't have too much expensive cards right now. There's another Fairy Miscreant. Although Yarok's Wavecrasher is great with enter effects like Cloud Concealer. Pick that up and replay it. Kind of want to just load up on Fairy Miscreants this pack, though. really make sure I don't miss any opportunities. I don't think that Fairy Miscreant's going to come all the way back around when there's only going to be like 2 cards left in the pack by the time it's back. Kaikar's cool, but not really important here. Now I can grab a Winged Words. Be on like no removal in this deck, but it is what it is. Nothing looks great here. Just get a random Might of the Masses combat trick. Pick 10. Counterspells actually play pretty well with the cards we have right now. There's one card that doesn't play well with the counterspells, but if we just flood the board with flyers on 1, 2, 3, and then hold up a counter from then on, looks like a really strong strategy, especially with the excellent flash or excellent instant speed cards like Ambusher and Shared Summons. So when we don't cast the counter, we can cast one of those too. Pick 11 looks like nonsense. Honestly, I'm going to have so many flyers I don't need the spiders, so I'm just going to rare draft some gems there. And there we go, third Fairy Miscreant. These are going to be some great value. Not the Walmart kind. Another Metropolis Sprite, yeah, just all flyers curving out. Topping things off with giant green threats. This is absolutely a deck. Pack 3, pick 1. Nothing out of the blue. A little tragic. There's a board wipe out of white. There's nothing out of green either here. There's a growth cycle and a sedge scorpion. More gems, I guess. I mean, I could play a moat piranhas just to try to lock down the ground. Have a good defender there, so our flyers keep getting in for damage, but doesn't seem particularly exciting. Oh, there's the Omnath for the Elementals deck. I have 2 Elementals. And I have 1 dual land towards them. I mean, there's nothing in blue or green again. I could play a Winged Words and that's about it. Whatever. What do you even do? If I don't play any other Elementals, are you still good? Not really. Really need more Elementals. Oh my god, Dungeon Geist is insane though. 4 mana, 3/3 flyer, and you tap and stun an opposing creature for as long as you control the Geists. Yeah, that's absurdly good. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna end up doing the Omnath splash. But if I knew Omnath was coming, there were so many of those 4 mana make 3/1/1 elemental cards. Those would be sick with this thing. Could have done something really cool. This deck still looks strong though. Still looks very strong, actually. Turn all of their bones into ashes. Draw so many cards. Double Cloud Conceer, triple Miscreant, Winged Words, triple Bone to Ash. Flood of Tears. I played this in Constructed as a combo spell. Sorcery Speed. Sorcery Speed makes that not feel super playable in draft. Pattern Matcher is literally the Wombo combo with Fairy Miscreant, though. It's made for the cards that you want to draft a bunch of copies of, and then you play it, you pull out another copy. You get your Fairy Miscreant value. So it seems pretty good, as does this Thornwood Falls. Pick 8. Give me gems. Pick 9. Piranhas. Did I play that over Centaur Courser? I actually don't hate that. Maybe over Might of the Masses. One of these two. We'll cut that. I guess I've got a good chunk of non-creature. Cut up Might of the Masses. Be annoying as possible. I'll cut a Courser for negate. Although I guess I already have negates here, so might as well draft an uncommon. Sure. Uncommon for Vault Progress. I'm not going to play multiple negates. Sleep paralysis. Hey, we found a removal spell. It's a very mediocre one, but I'll play that over the negate. Alright, looks like a real good deck by Core Set standards. Be very excited to see how strong Foundation's in, because they intend to keep Foundations in Standard for 5 years. And you would assume they want the cards to get played. So, judging by the power level of most of the other stuff that we have access to in Standard right now, I feel like it's going to be quite a different experience from this M20 set. It certainly feels quite a bit watered down from what we've been getting recently. Might cut one Bone Dash or one Convolute here to be able to run a full 17 lands, although curve might be low enough to justify just 16. Nah, I think I'd rather go full 17 here. We're on 15 creatures, 9 non-creatures. Just cut a random creature, but I don't think we really have a random creature. Maybe the Cerulean Drake. Let's just kind of play you're up against red, or pray that you're up against red. Just okay otherwise. Not a ton of spells that are going to target you. Yeah, sure, I probably overdrafted the Drake. I didn't realize it was counterspell that targets you and not counterspell that targets you or one of your permanents. I thought it was kind of like negate, where you could counter a removal spell with it, but I guess that is not a thing. But that is going to be the deck for today, so without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay and see how it does. That's unkeepable. It is not a ton better, but it's certainly better. I guess there's a lot of card draw here. No, yeah, this is actually pretty great. Woodland Champion, get things rolling. I need to hit more blue sources fast, so I think I need to cast the more strong card draw, the spell that'll dig deeper and find the next island faster, rather than commit a little more to the board right now, because I need blue mana. Uh-oh. Double Woodland Champion? Please don't play the 4 mana thing that makes 2 1/1 tokens. That's just magical Christmas land for you right now. If they play the 4 mana 3 1/1s, we're just dead. Okay, Vial of Dragonfire is also bad. We take 4. But now we're going to play a Pattern Matcher and have a 3/3 up as a blocker. There's another blue source. Been looking for you. Grab our third Miscreant. Lavakin Brawler. Pass turn. Yeah, we're stable. Let's go. Ah, this is why I need blue bad. Please, island, please. Beautiful. This is a 3/4. Double block. Take 4. Suppose. Might be risky to be holding up Bone Dash here instead of just getting the Piranhas down. But I think on board we're fine. If they have a good non-creature spell, that we're going to have a really bad time here. Alright. We're fine. Oh, Night Pack Ambusher is such a draw. That makes it real easy to hold up the counter. Okay, we'll go ahead and moat Piranhas here. Because I don't need to draw more spells. I already have a winning board state in hand here. All the cards I need to win the game. Chandra's Spitfire, sure. We've got plenty of flyers. I'm not really worried about that. We can chump that with Miscreants all day long. And there's the concession from our opponent. The Night Pack Ambusher just going to be too much, and we start things off 1-0. Alright, here we are for game 2. We don't have a great curve, but we have got some bombs here. Obviously need to find some green sources. But we've got the Dungeon Geists already for one really great spell, and this Winged Words draw was very nice. It's going to help us find the spells we're looking for. Specifically the lands we're looking for, I guess. Forest number 1, welcome. So Forest, Cloud Conceer, see if we find Forest 2. So if we can ambush them and eat one of their creatures, that's going to be filthy. So try to set that up. Plus, I'd be able to hold up Bone Dash at the same time, which should be fantastic. Okay, no Forest yet, but we could still top deck it next turn. So I've got this Ember Hauler they can sack to shoot something for 2. It's got me a little nervous. Ooh, Cavalier Flames got me a little more nervous because it has a really good ability. Even if I stun it, they can make their creatures have haste all the time. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Mythic. When it dies, they even get to blow something up. Oh no, it just damages me, not my permanents. Okay, cool. If I had a Planeswalker, they could kill it. Based on the number of lands in their grave. We'll happily get rid of their little damage spell. Well, I hit the Ambusher mana, but Ambushing Cavalier is pretty bad. I have to just Geist it here. And then, I guess if they removal spell the Geists, that's pretty rough for me. They can't really removal spell a Sleep Paralysis in Rakdos. So, I mean, this thing's ability is gonna keep going no matter what I choose to do. At least this way, can't have them just kill the Geists. Maniacal Rage on the Embercat, sure. Unsummon would go real hard right now. Skelly Man. Maybe they will forget about Cavalier's ability, because they could have hasted out the skeleton and hit me for 2 more damage. They would have buffed the Embercat and the skeleton. So maybe the ability is not as bad as I thought it would be, because they'll just forget about it. I can only double buff here, so in theory I get to kill the Sanitarium Skeleton, but this probably just draws removal from their hand. No removal in hand? No removal in hand. There's the unsummon for the Embercat. It'll be a close race here. Basically, they realize Cavalier's ability. We're gonna have a bad time, but I think it's late enough by now that even if they realize they can use Cavalier's ability, that I'll still survive. Like, I want to hover over it and make sure that I'm not wrong about that and they can use it, but if I hover over it, then it's gonna be bright and highlighted on their screen and they might try. They might realize they can use it if that is a thing they can do. Wow. Of all the cards, active treason. Okay. Combat. Take 4 here. And this is bad, but I'm not dead. I don't kill them on the crackback either, though. 7 power on board, or 8 power if you add the +1/+1 from the Ambusher. Alright, they realize the Cavalier ability. That's pretty bad for me. That means they're much more likely to find lethal next turn because they know they can haste the team. So we get another blocker with Night Pack Ambusher. hold up a counterspell here so they can't double creature and haste both of them. So go 1, 2, 3, plus the 2 mana to give both haste. I need 2 blockers up. I think I have to hit for 7 here. So I only need to block Scorch Spitter and 1 hasty creature because I can counter another hasty creature with Bone to Ash. So block with a Wolf and a Miscreant, and then kill them next turn. It's the only way to be really confident that we do kill them next turn. Removal shouldn't even get them there unless they have incredibly efficient removal. Because the mana they spend casting removal is mana they can't use to haste out their next creature. Alright, we got there. 2 mana up is not enough to play a creature and haste it. And there's the concession. And 2 mana, obviously the max. They haven't played land for turns, so they could have land in hand. Alright. Scary game there, but Nightpack Ambusher runs away with it for us. Well, not really runs away with it. It was really close. Nightpack Ambusher versus Cavalier. But we are 2-0 now, heading into game 3. Alright, here we are on the play, game number 3. Got the Miscreant into Cloudkin Seer curve again. No winged words in the middle this time. That's been consistently great these first couple games. Just the 2 mana draw 2 in the middle help us hit the land drops we need. Moat Piranhas. That is completely useless against our deck, so we're quite happy to see that. They basically mulliganed. Winged Words, 3 mana draw 2. Solid. Hello, friend. Too bad I can't ambush the piranhas, but Ambusher with 3 instants in hand is going to be disgusting. Although they are blue-black, so they could easily just have removal for it pretty instantly. So I'll have to unsummon this Vulture. I mean, trading it for Cloudkin Seer is not bad at all. But I don't see any world where I'm supposed to not play the Ambusher there. Can also technically attack both here, and if they double block Ambusher, unsummon to kill both creatures. But I am just really greedy with the Wolf value. I just do not want to shut off the ability to get my Wolf every turn. Sure, that's counterable. And I still have the unsummon up to save Ambusher if they try to kill it. They don't. Alright. Go team go. Could draw a bunch of cards here, commit a little more to the board, but I'm still making a 3/3 by doing nothing. And this just means that whenever they find their removal for this, I'll have a lot of gas left over, because I'm getting plenty of damage output off the Ambusher alone. So if I save these cards for later, I get to have as much action as possible later. Gorging Vulture. This is going to be enough damage to just unsummon that here. Cool. Now they double Vulture. 2, 3. They can gain 4 life off of 2 copies of Vulture. I'm getting enough mana at this point. I might get more than like 3/3 worth of stats out of jamming all this stuff. It's close. I'm just gonna hold again. I think I'd have to get like significantly more stats out of casting spells to want to do that over just getting a free 3/3 that didn't cost me a card. Well, that's a good card here. All right. They're down to 12 cards in their deck. Maybe mill out. Yeah, we don't unsummon anybody here. I can take 2 in the sky, and I block all of these zombies. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. They got the full playset on Undead Servants. Oh my god, they got the Portal of Sanctuary Undead Servant combo? Sure. Well, now I need to play a million flyers. Because they're at 7, I just need to get 7 power in the sky and then unsummon all their flying nonsense. But I can do that with this deck. I hit the dungeon, guys, so that's going to be the MVP. All in on flyers. Grab a Fairy Miscreant. Meteor Golem, the Ambusher, sure. Actually kind of fine at this point. Because I'm not getting any more wolves out of it. Meteor Golem Portal's annoying, but fine. I've got the counter spells. Don't I have double counterspell up here? 7 mana up. I've got 9. I can spend 2 and still have double counter up. 10 cards left. This has to mill 4. Yeah. So them just recasting a flyer to have the blockers is pretty rough for them. Because the amount of mill that it does. Going to 5 cards in deck off that. I'll allow it. So now they can't afford to resolve any more Gorgon Vultures, where they're completely milled. Portal the Servant. Drop the Servant, Convolute, because Bone to Ash can counter even if they have the mana up. Four cards left in their deck. They have like 4 turns to kill me. I think we're pretty golden. If we hit Dungeon Geists, we are like actually combat damage killing them. But this looks like it's just gonna end up being mill. Three cards left. Show me the Thassa's Oracle. That doesn't exist in this core set. There might be something that shuffles your graveyard back. They've got something like that. Could definitely win. Two, three, four, 5. Yeah, I don't even attack that well on the ground. 1, 2, 3. I don't know the set super well, but I'm pretty sure they just mill out if I chill here. If I knew for sure that there's some way to shuffle cards back in, then I probably would have went for like maybe an all attack there, because they didn't have a lethal crack back, and it would push them down to like 3 or something. Most likely. Portal Sanctuary, Agent of Treachery is also annoying, but not going to kill me fast enough with 2 cards in their deck. Sure. Two more turns to kill me. Like, unless they have a 6th copy of the Undead Servant, and they play that twice this turn. Which would be wild. Nope, it's just going to be Agent of Treachery. Grab the Gorilla. Try to go for 2-turn lethal. If I draw pretty much any spell, I'm fine here. If I miss again, we might die. But like any creature or counterspell or bounce spell is definitely the win. Unless there's some kind of like board-wide combat trick. -2, -0 to everybody. -17, they have 7, 8, 9, 10 power on board. It's definitely not dead next turn, even if they kill all of our creatures. That is super not dead. Alright, final attack. GG from opponent. GG it is. They lived the dream there. They got the self-milled deck. Max level there. Oh, I was trying to view the battlefield. They had the 6 copies of the Undead Servants to make all those 2/2 zombies, and they had 3 or 4 of the Gorging Vultures that mill 4 every time. But it looks like they lived the dream a little too hard, flew a little too close to the sun, and milled their whole deck away. We are 3-0 heading into game 4. Game 4. Certainly need to draw an island for the Dungeon Geists, but it is one of the strongest cards in our deck, so I'm really happy to see it in the opener, and Thornwood Falls works. Be a little slow, no Miscreant turn 1 now, but fine. think I still get it out of the way then, so if I do draw like a good 3-drop, I'll be playing that on curve instead of the 1-drop on curve. Like a Cloudkin Seer, being able to do that turn 3 would be huge. Slow down that mana ramp from the 3-color elementals nonsense pile. And then I could just Dungeon Geist it next turn when they recast it. Okay, they are not going to recast it. Fair enough. Dungeon Geist's still excellent to play on literally anything, so I'll just Geist the Crasher. Here's the removal, it looks like. Reduce to ashes, sure. Exile that, but we've still got pretty good tempo right now. There's the Piranhas to trade into the Crasher. Warden. Not the mana for that yet. Combat Trick my 2-drop away. It's better than most combat tricks because they draw a card off of it, but still not that bad. It's just emote Piranhas. Flooding a little here. But they might be as well. They've got 7 lands out there. Glenthorn Buccaneer. So that just gets rid of all their mana flood because they just ditched the lands and turned them into other cards. That is really good, and unsummoning it isn't even that great. I guess they can't recast it this turn, so it's pretty equivalent to unsummoning like a Thicket Crasher right now. Yeah, they don't have double red after I bounce that. Mask of Immolation. That's a pretty great one. Kills one of our flyers. They can slap down whatever they want. Buccaneers back. This is just looking really bad for us. We need our like beefy creatures in this kind of matchup. And a little less mana. But yeah, this is just not a good spot for all the little flyers. Got lethal off Buccaneer. It's in double cycle. But it's to 6. Yeah, if I attack almost at all, they just have lethal off Buccaneer. The extra 2 damage from Ember Hauler as well. Or just clear out a blocker. Alright. Well, just a rough hand for the matchup. We had our counter spells at the right time. This would be super, super winnable instead of these little creatures. Just found the wrong cards for that matchup. And we are 3-1 heading into game 5. Alright, Warden into Dungeon Geist. I do need to draw another blue source really badly for this hand. Ooh, we got a full curve though. On the draw again is not great. Makes Bone to Ash significantly worse. It's already pretty slow as far as counterspells go. Full teamer again. Whew, they got the Risen Reef. That's the mythic uncommon in the format. Super, super absurd. Turning all of your creatures into 2-for-1 value. This is basically Nadu. Because, yeah, it links, draw. And it puts the lands out free. Just gonna get steamrolled by the best uncommon in the format this game, I think. This Dungeon Geist doesn't even do anything about that. I do have quite the curve here, which is nice, but... not sure it's gonna outrace here. And they're gonna draw a million cards. So I've got some kind of combat trick to kill Dungeon Geists with. I have a Might of the Masses here, +3/+3. Just good old classic giant growth. Ew. The mythic uncommon and my rare? How am I supposed to beat that? This was my way to be on par with your Risen Reef. The double Bone Dash helps a lot here. We can counter the next 2 elementals they play that would trigger Risen Reef. Can't counter that. I don't think I even cast a Miscreant. Until I have 2 copies. Because right now I'd like to be able to activate Sprite and cast Bone Dash, because we're on the defensive here where I need to trade Sprite into the Sentinel when it sends in. So I need a blue mana to do that, and then I need double blue to still play Bone Dash. Opponent's gonna get real annoyed with my nonsense here. But I just need these to find my own Silverback Shaman or Wolf or something. Two mana, 1/1. Need another land for that. Even then, that would make it real obvious we're holding up another Bone Dash. Because I'll pattern match, pick up a Miscreant, and then not even play it. I think I can hold off here. Pattern Matcher would be able to start attacking on this board, so maybe we're supposed to just jam it. But yeah, no, I can definitely do it. I guess they could kill the Miscreant and try to counter this. I don't remember if I have 3 Wardens, though. If I do, then they can't even stop this from getting me something. No, I didn't get 3 Wardens. Okay, if they have the removal to kill a Miscreant with, they should have just done it before I tried to cast the Matcher. Because now at least I get the 1/1 flyer, just to like draw 1 instead of draw 2. But yeah, it looks like they don't. Or at least they don't want to spend it right now. I could unsummon their Dungeon Geist so that I can Bone Dash it. It's actually pretty viable. End step unsummon here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have the mana to do it all during my turn, so I'm just going to do that. So if they have like a flash creature here, I can still counter that. Alright, we unsummon that and we just start getting in. I don't get to attack with Dungeon Geists this turn, but this is still great. Uh-oh. We finally get to see the combat trick. Feral Invocation. Sure. You got it. Down to 11. Well, I know what I'm doing with my next unsummon. Convolute that one since Bone Dash works even when they're untapped and top deck a creature. Yeah, this invocation's a little rough for us. We don't really want to trade the Dungeon Geists off. I mean, if I do, the Sentinel's the only thing that untaps here. We ball. Let's get them dead. They're at 3 life now. That's dead on board. To our flyers after the sprite hits it. So we just counter any flyer they play and kill them next turn. Frostlinks also stops lethal. But it's not the end of the world. Feel like they could have something worse for me. Wow, alright. Can't counter that. Scorpion's super fine, though. Still can't really attack here. Oh, I guess they can send in Risen Reef because you're never going to block with that. Draw sucks. And we pass. We have Frostlinks in a top deck here. The odds of the top deck being better than the Frostlinks are pretty low. There's the unsummon for lethal. Nice top deck. Oh my god. What a sequence of draws. If we did not have the unsummon there, this game would be just over. Okay, we're getting our own little sequence here. Oh, let's go. Reverse curse. Ka-ching. Alright, well, not sure I played that out perfectly. Obviously, with hindsight of knowing exactly what was in their hand, had we Bone to Ash the first Frostlinks, things would have played out much better. And I guess, I don't know, I was just really concerned they had something like that Air Elemental in their hand alongside that Frostlinks. But they've been playing things out slow enough. It was pretty unlikely they had a good, like, double spell there. I probably should have just jammed the Bone to Ash. That was a bit loose. But still get there in the end. Really close fight overall. And we are now 4-1 heading into game number 6. Alright. Not in love with this hand. All the late game Bone Ashes here, but we start jamming in some damage. We have great counter spells in the late game. If they've got some good early game creatures, we could have problems. But now we've got a Dungeon Geist to deal with one of those. Green-white's a pretty aggressive color pair. And here they go, the 2/2 that leaves an equipment behind. Good start. Unsummon is quite reasonable against that, though. Just kill the token, take nothing. Could be fine. Yeah, unsummon this and then Dungeon Geist whatever creature they play this turn. Ooh, or they don't play a creature. And Warden or be on Bone Dash, but again, their first creature I kind of just want to Dungeon Geist it rather than Bone Dash it, so we just let whatever happens here resolve, and then Dungeon Geists. Cool. Actually don't even need to Dungeon Geists that, but yeah, I don't know, this could be wrong, but I'm gonna just hold up Bone Dashes here. Wait, no, that's definitely wrong. Because I want to maximize damage output as quickly as possible. Yeah, but then if I Dungeon Geist this, and then they play like a reach creature or flyer, that's just gonna slow me down, you know? Yeah, I don't know, these two together is kind of awkward. But we're fine. No reach or flyers. They are so dead right now. Alright, they got one turn. Sure. GG from opponent, no flyers. Flyers continue to be good in core sets. We are 5-1 in the money out of this draft, no matter what. Alright, game 7, the creatureless hand. Can I keep that? It's got both our colors. It doesn't really do anything till turn 4, and all it does is reactive. I don't think I can keep that. Okay, this is really good. Goodbye, big monkey. You're the most expensive play in hand. So I'll see you later. Oh. Green-red. Scary deck. Elementals nonsense. Also solid colors for dealing with flyers because they have reach and removal spells, particularly burn spells. Shifting Ceratops. Wow. Guess I'll die? Uh, yeah. Yeah, the pro blue rare. And it can give itself reach. I do guess I'll die. Yeah, this protection from blue is gonna go a mile here. Well, it's tapped out of their reach at least. But this does just outrace me too. It's 5 power and literally unblockable for me. I don't even have removal that I can use. My removal's blue. It's bounce spells and tap spells, so I don't even have like a card to draw into to deal with the Ceratops. So I think I have to just hold up the Bone Dash. It's not like I'm going to find an answer. The only thing I could find off of Winged Words that would be particularly impactful would be my 4 mana Flash Wolf thing. So I wouldn't even be able to afford that right now, so waiting until 6 mana and then going Winged Words and cast the Wolf seems decent. Yikes, the shock too. Yeah. This is literally everything that could have gone wrong going wrong. I was like, well, green-red could be scary. They could have reach creatures. They could have cheap burn to deal with flyers, and then they had both. And their reach creature has protection from 3/4 of my deck. Well, if I find the wolf rare, we have a chance, but I did not. So, say they flood out here, this is the land, they top deck a land. If I draw the wolf rare, I think I still win the game. Because the wolf comes out, trades into Ceratops out of nowhere. I take 2, go to 6. And then I just beat them with sprites. Recover from there. But alas, it was not to be. I don't know if I even should have played the sprite. Maybe it was better to hold up Convolute since I don't even have the blue to buff it. Spitfire doesn't really matter, at least. Whether or not I block, I'm dead in 2 swings. Ceratops just hits me for 10 over the course of 2 turns because I can't block it ever. Alright, we die. Who would win, my entire deck or Shifting Ceratops? Shifting Ceratops, easily. We are 5-2, heading into Game 7. Or Game 8. That was Game 7. Alright, here we are for game number 8. We're already in the money here, so we're just kind of cruising. But we'll do our best, see if we can't get a nice trophy run for the return to the core set. Play Sprite first and get some damage in here. No point in getting rid of Summoning Sickness on a defender. Okay. Gonna have the most suspicious turn ever next turn. Got the Sprite on the board, but I don't spend the blue. Another green-blue-red elementals deck. It was, I think, the best archetype, and definitely the most popular. It's the coolest archetype. Getting Omnath and stuff. They resolve something good, I can unsummon it right now, since I've got another threat to cast. Let's hold up the... Or let's not hold up the Bone to Ash. And if I can hit a 5th land, then I can hold up Bone to Ash without being suspicious. Picked the wrong turn to do that. I figured if they had Risen Reef, they would have just played it last turn, so... Probably just a great top deck from our opponent. But that's another reason I didn't hold up Bone to Ash here. I was like, the best enter effect in the trio is Risen Reef, and they would have just cast that last turn. Let's not let them have double trigger. Mythic Uncommon strikes again. See if we can do what we did last time and just get enough flying damage over the course of the game. Do not care about all the card advantage they get. Although I can now just bone dash it. Pop it. I did get the one little 2-for-1 from it, which is pretty nice. Another miscreant is a very good draw. Unsummon Moat Piranhas? Sure. I guess that gets their tutus in for a turn. Yeah, you got it. I do not mind at all. Ooh. Don't quite have the mana for what I really want to do here, but... yeah, I guess I can Pattern Matcher next turn and still be happy, because the Pattern Matcher is just going to be a Moat Piranhas anyway. It's not going to be attacking here. I have the low auto tapper. I have the exact right mana to do everything here. If I make this play instead. Hitting them for 4 a turn. They're on a 3-turn clock. Outrage the Piranhas? Oh. Counter the deal 2. I have another 3/3 to block with. Yeah. Go to 9. Cloud Conceer. Wish you were land. Let's get the sprite damage here. Still good enough to just cast. It's got to be Piranhas over Sprite, though, for our blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, they don't have interaction, and I play the Sprite instead. I've got 8 flying damage next turn. It's a little bold, though, when I could just go block and trade here on 2 of their attacks. And then definitely grind it out with Pattern Matcher into another Miscreant. I go for the safer line here, but I could try to get the 2-turn lethal. Okay, we're chilling. We're chilling. Definitely lethal next turn. And still good value. And there's the concession from our opponent. That is 6 and 2 for our first draft of the return to Core Set 2020. Can we get a 7-winner full trophy run with this nice mono blue splash green Flyers deck? All right, here we are for the final boss. This is going to be the final battle, win or lose. We are teetering on greatness here at 6 and 2. Will it all fall apart, or will the Cloud Conceers find the blue mana for the Bone Dash? Let's see, opponent's on Golgari. Uh-oh. Triple Forest start. That is not good for this deck. Bark Hydrol, 2 mana 3/3 that can give itself hexproof. The hexproof part doesn't really matter against our deck. We don't have a lot of ways to target it. Oh my god, but 4 forests here is really rough. They'll get to play Cloud Concealer next turn. And do a little more digging. Yeah, our matchup against just beefy green creatures is not great either. They can just outrace us. If neither player blocks all game, they kill us faster than we kill them. I found the blue source. Unfortunately, I turn off here, so I don't get to Bone Dash, whatever this is. Yeah, we need to draw an unsummon or two to win the race here. Okay, Prontodon's not horrific for me. Okay, imagine here we gotta go Silverback Shaman, and then I have the mana to Winged Words and Bone Dash, or Paralysis and Winged Words next turn. 6-7 damage here. Oh, we're so dead. These don't block well at all. Silverback does, but one removal spell crushes us. Let's see, double block plus Silverback block is really a winning line. I guess double Bone Dash gives us enough value over time. Maybe we can grind out a long one here if we just stop racing. But I have to 2-for-1 myself to kill one of their creatures. I mean, the Cloud Concealers both drew a card, like, when they entered, so, like, not quite a 2-for-1. Alright, let's see what kind of combat trick they got here. Imagine we kill the highest toughness card and the card that can give itself hexproof. Those are just the best creatures. Bladebrand, Death Touch, alright, still a trade. Okay. Only have 4 power on board now, but I am only down to 7. Greenwood Sentinel. Pattern Matcher. Can go Miscreant, Pattern Matcher, Miscreant here. Feels like the most blocking I can do. The other option is to just Sleep Paralysis Miscreant. Lock down a 3/3, play a 1/1, and don't block anything anyway. Take the 3. Yeah, Miscreant, Matcher, Miscreant is our best line. Another blue source is very important here. So we can actually double spell with these clunky double blues. Might have to go to 3 here if they attack with everybody, just so I can kill one of their creatures without losing anything. Okay, if they do that, I have to just take the trade. But if they attacked all here, I think it'd be eat the Sentinel, take 4. Ooh. Wolf Rider's Saddle is a problem. Unsummon's a great draw, though. Can't be blocked by more than one creature. That's like our best way to block in this deck. Unsummon the wolf token. If they just move the saddle to the Sentinel, having an awful time. But then I can Sleep Paralysis the Sentinel later. I don't think I can afford to not hold up a Bone Dash for any future threats. So it's going to be unsummon this turn, Sleep Paralysis next turn, ideally. We really need to top deck a land so that I can Sleep Paralysis and still have a Bone Dash up. Ooh. Do I get to kill the Sentinel? Well, it's not equipped. That would be wonderful. Ooh, baby, alright. Oh no. Graveyard Recursion? That's not technically a creature spell? Oh, man. Yeah, that's rough. They can only afford to cast one of those this turn, though, which means I get to Bone Dash whichever they cast now, and then Bone Dash the other one next turn. And by Bone Dashing now, that makes it more likely I top deck the land I need to be able to Sleep Paralysis Bone Dash. I really don't want to Sleep Paralysis the Skeleton, though. Okay, we hit the land. Well, now I can Sprite... Oh, I can't Sprite Wingward's Bone Dash. I need 4 blue for that. I feel like even a saddled up skeleton at 6 life is a big enough deal that I might have to go Sleep Paralysis Skeleton. Bone Dash, the Bronktodon. God. It's so awkward. We just... Please miss this draw step. Just hit a land this turn. Oh, it's not a land. But it costs too much mana to play 2 spells this turn. Oh, please, Winged Words. Oh, please. Find the wolf. The wolf rare. No, not like this. I'm fighting so hard. Where's my wolf rare? Actually, either rare. Either rare would be really good here. Yep, that's horrific. Chump or go to 2. Hey, look who it is. Might be a millisecond too late, though. Because I don't get a wolf this turn. So I have to go to 2, and then start chumping with a wolf every turn. It's like I don't even get attacks out of the ambusher. And I can't double block, again, because this ability, so I can't ambush and then double block. I think this might have been literally 1 turn too late, but we'll see. Stop hitting gas. That's a big one. That is a big one. Kill the 2/2, bounce the Brontodon to force a recast re-equip for a bunch of their mana. Uh-oh. Told you to stop hitting gas, opponent. What is this? I'm the only one who gets to cast spells now. Wow, alright, well, we super lose. I think I played that out about as hard as I could have fought there. But it is what it is. 6 and 3 will be the final record for the deck. Just needed to hit our powerful spells slightly faster. Still a really good showing here. Very strong deck. Pretty happy with the draft in general. I think Cloud Conceer taking that really highly was great. Getting the Ambusher and the Geists to push towards blue-green specifically was nice. The Miscreant Pattern Matcher combo, that came up a lot. That was pretty sweet. Biggest flaw of the deck is the lack of removal. That's kind of a thing just playing blue in general. We've got the Sleep Paralysis and some unsummons, and the Bone Dashes, but they're all a bit situational, especially the counterspell kind of removal. So it's the biggest flaw of the deck, and it certainly showed up in pretty much all three of our losses. But it's got lots of really good curves. It's got lots of card advantage to make sure that we keep drawing threats and counterspells and stuff to keep casting a bunch more action. Never got to shared summons. Wow, that's tragic. This actually would have been a super winning draw that one turn that I really wanted to draw Ambusher and then just hit a land. If instead I hit the summons, it's like then I would have hit Ambusher and Geists. Yeah, no, I think this would have been pretty good in this deck if we ever drew it, but yeah, I think even the drafting the shared summons I'm happy with here, because with the way the game's played out, I think that would have been pretty good in some positions. So yeah, really solid deck, really solid showing for the return to the core set format. We get 1,800 gems and 5 packs, get a little bit higher in the mythic ratings today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.